mostly devoted to you. Right, I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say some more really interesting things when I started looking at you. When I was downstairs, I tipped over a load of stuff, which still needs cleaning up. And I found these books that I bought the other day and I'd forgotten. So the Disney Story Collection, I'm starting to build up, because little person stayed over, so we read some stories because I didn't have a TV or anything. And I'm grandma and I've got time to do things like that. But I bought this because she really liked The Little Mermaid and chose it herself. Disney Story Collection, which is pretty cool. Look, what's in it? Let's see. Lilo and Stitch, which I don't know the story of. Dumbo, which I used to love when I was little. Pocahontas, I sort of know. The Jungle Book, I loved. The Lion King, I don't know well enough. Lady and the Tramp, I remember seeing at the cinema when I was a kid and loved it so much. Robin Hood is a great tale. The Little Mermaid, we know. Bambi, that's so cool. So we've got those to read. I'm not going to say we'll read it all at once, but you know what? It's going to be nice to read for me. I'm building an interest in books. Oh, The Prince. We know The Little Mermaid already. No, I'm not reading that one again. I want to read Lady and the Tramp. This is so good. I love Lady and the Tramp. Who did I go and see it with? Well, my grandma took me to see it with a kid from down the road. Lilo and Stitch, I don't know. Pocahontas. I don't know Lilo and Stitch. I never. Say Lilo. Say Lilo. I don't want a Lilo, babe. I want to jump around in performance. What's the Stitch? I don't know the story. Pocahontas, I know the story of that though. Dumbo. We've done enough of this. Robin Hood. Robin Hood, Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his band of men. Fed by the band, loved by the good. Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood. The Sheriffs of Nottingham. I know. Story collection. So anyway, I think that was £1. So I bought it. And I got these. I'd seen them the day before. We didn't have enough money to get them. I rushed back when I had some more cash. My son had this book, Turtle, but a bigger version, and we lost the pieces. So when I saw it in the shop the other day, I thought, you know what, I'd really like to get that. Little person likes doing jigsaws. But it's, I think this was £1.50 or something, so it wasn't expensive. It's just she didn't have £1 when we went. She only had £1, and I had no cash. So I rushed back and it was still there, so I got it. But it's so cool. Look, Marine World, let's look for it together. And all the pieces are in it. But she'll like it because I can sell it. As Turtle did have this book, and Turtle might like it as well if I let them use it later on. If he comes over at all, they can do it together then. But I'm going to keep it here and all the pieces in it. He didn't look after it when he had it. He did love it though. He loved marine life. So that's Marine World, Colours of the Sea. I'm going to look through it with you. I've only just found it on the floor. Forgot we got it. So Sharks, A Big Family, The Gentle Giant. Look, it's so nice. David Attenborough. I know Richard Attenborough's the film man. Mammals. I said it by accident though. Creatures that nurture. The Sea is Delight. So I think that's a porpoise rather than a dolphin. But there's a manatee. Walrus. It might be a dolphin. I can't remember. It says bottlenose dolphin here. I thought bottlenose dolphins were the grey ones. I don't know enough about it anyway. Let's see what else. Turtle. Look, there's a turtle. It's a turtle. So we can learn about these things together. It's going to be so nice. Oyster. Lobster. Whales. They sing too. A few birds and a bear. Penguins. Arctic fox. We can look at all these things. It's going to be so good. It's going to take us weeks. Go back and have a look through the book for dolphins. And she can learn about Annie arguing. I thought that was a porpoise. I was wrong. Jellyfish? Turtle? Nemo? Who's Nemo? A whale shark? What's this? I don't know what this is. Piranhas? Coral? Emperor penguins? Arctic fox? Shark? Did you see them all? Actually, no, I didn't. And a manatee. So there we go. Visit the wonderful world of oceans and seas. Meet the lively creatures who live there. The giant white shark, the playful dolphin, the lazy turtle, and the fat sea cow. Then recreate a slice of marine life and some spectacular jigsaws. And then we might make an ocean thing like Turtle made with his other nan, who was a teacher. So, and kept it on his shelf for ages. We can do all sorts of things like that. And the other one was, well, we don't have to, but you know what? You could do it. Fantastic 24-piece jigsaws. This one's bugs, and I got it because, do you know what? I'm trying to teach her not to be scared of bugs. She might end up being a bug person later on. Plus, it's jigsaws again. Wait till you get to the end, though. Killer creatures, bugs. Know them by creating them through jigsaws. All over the place. It's a tough life, Bugs World. Butterflies. And a bee. Jigsaws, though. The little jigsaws are good for what? Because they start to develop that sort of mind. Oh, go away, he says. Stop it. Little tough ones, bug senses. And a nice jigsaw. Spiders. A spider's egg case. Cycle. A ladybird. Look. What's this called? Metamorphic what? Oh yes, hang on. Most bugs change in form as they develop into adults. This change is called metamorphosis, which can be of two kinds, complete and incomplete. Young insects go around complete metamorphosis, do not look like adults at all. They look more like worms and are called larvae. These larvae are eaten grown until they turn into a pupa. The adult emerges from the pupa. The life cycle of a butterfly is an example of complete metamorphosis. In incomplete metamorphosis, the young bug or nymph is a smaller, wingless version of the adult. See, we can learn together. Changing times. Stay away. Bugs have several methods to protect themselves. The colours and stings. Red velvet mites. Attack and defence. Who's this? Eek! I think it's what I had in the dog books. An actual, guess what? Wait and see. The Bug Society. Together forever. A hornet's nest. A child looking at the bugs with interest. Leafcutter ants they are. Now go back and look for the following. A butterfly. A leaf insect. A bumblebee. A ladybird. That's not labelled there. A caterpillar. I don't know what sort it is. We'll have to look later on. Madagascar hissing cockroach. I didn't know that. It looked like a bug. Stag beetles. What is this? A katydid. What? A katydid? It's a lacewing, isn't it? Did you see them all? Leafcutter ants. Black widow spider. It's not a false widow, is it? Don't false widows have a red cross on their back? I can't really remember. It's a big flat, fat one like that. Black widow. Trust me to have those crawling around my house. Maybe. And the other thing I just saw in the news is they've woken up an old, I forgot what the word was, virus out of the permaculture. Well, global warming though. So that's going to affect everything, isn't it? All these old viruses coming back to wake. This is what I was thinking. I was having this conversation with a woman actually the other day, but I've just forgotten. I triggered the memory by myself about, I was talking to her in the park. Her kid had a cold. And we were talking about the change of seasons and how people get sick. And I said, well, yeah, often when they go back to school, I mean, this was a small person anyway, they all, after the summer holidays, as an example, everyone gets sick because they come together again and like the bugs just start going around because they've just come back together. And I had said to her, well, it's going to be good for his immune system, like to start getting these things. You start to blah, blah, blah. But the other time I had noticed is when you put the heating on, because it wakes up all the old viruses that have been asleep behind the radiator. And you put the radiators on and the virus blooms. That's how I used to say it anyway, which is one of the reasons I never put the heating on. But if he's been somewhere with the heating on, this makes sense to me now with my son getting sick, that the viruses are going to have woken up. And I did notice one of my radiators was warm the other day. I was like, do you know what? Why would you do that? I don't have the heating on. I'm not the heating on person. Somebody's put the heating on. But I have my window open anyway, and my radiators don't work properly. So he's in there with his window shut, his radiator on, coughing and wheezing. I've just made that connection myself. And then that bug thing came up about the, not permaculture, what's it called? The ice, anyway. Permafrost. What's it called? This bug's woken up. They've made it look like an old thing. An old and days bug. So they're waking up all the old bugs. Well, I say they who've done the global warming. That's something I hadn't thought about. Not just the water levels rising, but all these old viruses are going to wake up probably. The dead things that have been frozen in the permafrost. Am I using the wrong words? Well, you know what I mean, don't you? We're all dumb together in this situation. So all the old viruses will be waking up as well, that have been contained within all the dead things, probably. Probably true. Probably something like that anyway. Which is fun for all of us, really. I'm sure science people had thought about this. I hadn't, though. I've just made the connection myself. It's true. I'm one step ahead of the game, though, because I've been living in medieval Britain for the last 5 years. Well, probably longer, actually. So I've only got 50 million years of catching up to do with these viruses that are coming back to life. Whereas you've got 55 million years, probably. Sounds healthy, doesn't he? He'll be okay. I'll go and wipe him with an old dishcloth in a minute. I told him to have a lime yesterday. He said he didn't want one, so he didn't have one. Let's get some vitamin C in you. He did have sausages though yesterday. Guess what? Do you know what? I remember this from when I got flu before. Let's just say it. I'm just going to say it because it's my stupid way of thinking about things. When I got flu before, this was a few years back, and I'd gone down to the Reindeer pub, and they did these really nice sausage rolls, like vegan ones and pork ones, and I was vegan at the time. They didn't have any of the vegan ones, so I had a pork one. I know. I was really hungry though, and I had flu, and maybe I had a broken ankle at the same time. And I thought, you know what, I craved it, so I had it, this pork sausage roll. And I thought then, do you know what? Because I'm vegan, I don't normally have these things, and the pigs usually get force-fed antibiotics it was an organic pig. Well, do you know what? It's the same theory. I'm going to get my dose of antibiotics through the pig, the pork, the sausage roll, the one that I had. It may be a similar thing. Pigs eat all the shit, don't they? That's why they're often seen as unclean, because they eat all the grits. So they have do you know what? You know what I'm saying, don't you? It's a form of antibiotics because you're dosing yourself with the crap. I don't know, something like that. He'll be okay. He had some sausages for tea and beans. He'll be fine. That will force it through exactly. You'll be fine. Fats in the sausage for the liver and the virus. Loads. I know what I'm talking about. I did make bird food this morning as well. What did I give them? Because the magpie was outside chipping away for luck when I whistled her down. The survivors will not only pass the virus around, they'll pass around the what? The survival tactics as well. They'll fluff those over. Look, I'm okay. I'll shit on you. I'll shit on you if my survivors shit. That's what. What did I put in it? Some Alpen, because I had some in the cupboard. Some bran. Some porridge oats. The last of my porridge oats. I was going to steal a sausage and I thought I'd better not. I put that in it. So I forgot to put banana in it. I put an apple in it. Grated an apple. Fairly healthy. Some water to soak it, because you have to soak it, don't you? Otherwise it explodes in their stomachs. And some chili flakes, so I took that up, and then I put some sesame oil on it as well for the fats, because it's that, you know. And then I found in the cupboard I had some corn, some bird food that I bought before, so I sprinkled some of that for the seed feeders, and I put some out with some chili flakes on the flat feeding thing. Whether they eat or not, I don't know. I didn't over clean anything. I put it on a clean plate though. I always do that, as you've noticed. And I do wash that every day. And then I put a piece of white bread on it as well, in case they've got a taste for that, with some more chili flakes on. So they've got a selection. I know white bread is supposed to be like empty food for birds, but sometimes they want some of that. It's okay to give it to people though. Mix it up a bit. That's the first time I fed them for ages. And I whistled the magpie and then she chipped back again. But the other thing is, I think they will probably, with the chili in it, they might think it's like, what is this? Is it blah blah? But corvids are quite, what's the word? Suspicious of people, aren't they? They have to build up a trust. And I've got 4 generations of magpies come back to feed here. And they've brought their young back, which in corvids is a sign that they trust you. If they bring their young to you, it's supposed to be like a great, what's the thing? You're trusted anyway, so that they've brought their young to you. So they will probably eat it, even if it's like, what is this suspicious food? Chili might be is she trying to poison us sort of thing? What's the word I was using? Enrichment is why I used to put it out before. Enriched, like with captive, when I was working on the sanctuary and they had a magpie there. But is it enrichment, like anything caged, you have to give it enrichment things, don't you? There's enrichment, like mental enrichment is one thing. They like jays as well, they like enrichment things. Like, which is why they go for the peanuts hanging. For some reason, they like the hanging ones. But dietary enrichment as well. Morning. How are you?
Sick.
Sick as a pig?
Sick as a pig.
Hey. That's good. I'm recording, just so you know. You don't mind, do you?
Hi world.
Hello, internet. Oh, that's open it and read it.
Is it a bibble?
No, it's not a Bible. It's a sort of Bible. It's a
Science book.
metaphysical
Faith
book.
and God's purpose.
What's it called?
I don't know what's it called.
Oh, look at the first page. The cover got eaten by the dog.
The presence of the past.
The presence of the past.
Morphic resonance and the habits of nature. Sounds like bullshit.
Bullshit. Morphic resonance. Well, yeah, it is bullshit. It's great if you do quantum.
Mechanics, psychics.
No, what's it called? Not astral travel. That Alexander technique. With Alexander technique, I was taught to do it over books, and I did wonder if you do it over specific books, do you get like the?
Specific, do you get the plot?
And I have found that to be a thing. The books that you rest on. I was told to use books of a specific height, but not anything else. But I have found there's a certain amount of, if you use that book I got originally because it was the right height for me to use, you do absorb a certain amount of. Well, I have anyway. No, it's a thing.
I just go way.
Yeah. Bye. I do too. Don't be too long. I was going to try and read some of that book the other day. What is it? Let me just see. The dog's chiming in again. She was chewing over it. I'll tell you what as well, my Flower Fairy book, I love this. I know it's the other day. Round and round we go. This is so adorable. Look. March, 1968. To Mummy. Someone, Eric, I think. Something of you. There may be a Mother's Day present if it was March. Look, Flower Fairy alphabet. That's adorable. But this one's got written in it as well. Oh, that's right. Paul McCallan, 19th of January 1990. So I wrote my name underneath it. I don't know what that phone number is. And then when it goes passes on, we know who's had it. So, the presence of the past, morphic resonance and the habits of nature. Maybe I should read this. It's relevant, isn't it? To all my teachers, past and present. Preface. I put this in it. A book on human rights, Amnesty. This book carries further the ideas I expressed in A New Science of Life, first published in 1981, in which I put forward the far-ranging hypothesis of formative causation and discuss some of the many implications, especially in the chemical and biological realms. In this book, which is less technical in style, I place the hypothesis of formative causation, its broad historical, philosophical and scientific context, summarise its main chemical and biological implications, and explore its consequences in the realms of psychology, society and culture. I show how it points towards a new and radically evolutionary understanding of ourselves and the world we live in, and understanding which I believe is in harmony with the modern idea that all nature is evolutionary. The hypothesis of formative causation proposes that memory is inherent in nature. In doing so, it conflicts with a number of orthodox scientific theories. These theories grew up in the context of pre-evolutionary cosmology, predominant until the 1960s, in which both nature and the laws of nature were believed to be eternal. Throughout this book, I contrast the interpretations provided by the hypothesis, formulation, causation, with conventional scientific interpretations, and show how the approaches can be tested against each other by a wide variety of experiments. Causation and caustic. I found this ring on the floor yesterday. Oh, go away, they say. And it had sort of acoustic reaction. It had, where is it? It was the damp. It was a cheap ring that I'd bought and tucked away, and the damp had caused it to, the crystals had come off it. Are they out of the air? Or the damp? Or what, the reaction? But there's a relevance to that, the caustic reaction. What are we on? 25. Keep talking till 30. Ace of Wands is showing what's on the bottom. Page of Pentacles, I think. The bottom is what's coming, isn't it? Oh, 2 bay leaves. That's bizarre. There was 1. Why do I put my tarot on bay leaves? Well, I didn't. No, I did. I put them in the blossom because it's like a... What is it? Respect, I suppose. And bay works a bit... People talk about sage, burning sage, but bays are similar, sometimes more effective. Sage is the sage and the knowing, isn't it? And bay is like a cleansing thing. Love, I don't know, different meanings to different people. What's coming? The Page of Pentacles. That just happened to be on the bottom. I've forgotten the meaning. It's a spiritual thing, isn't it? Page is not as good as a king or queen, but a page at coin. Coin is priest. Karen is priest. Spiritual thing. There we go. It's charging. That's what. I've left it charging in the blossom. I need the bathroom again. I want more coffee. Have it. I tell you what, I found in my kitty as well. £4 last night, so I am going to be okay for cash. Especially if I just buy potatoes and sweet potatoes for 3 more days. Let's go and do that. Let's do it then. Make another pot of coffee. Let's get with the program. The dog's grumbling again. She's in agreement. Have another pot of coffee, she says. You rambling old coot. David doesn't mind now. David Attenborough, DA, the district attorney. He says, I don't care, the world's in good hands. There's enough old crazes. There's a bridge man hanging off the Dartford Bridge, messing up the petrol consumption quite happily. Well, they're running their engines, they're still using petrol. Well, they're paying the price, aren't they? They can afford to burn petrol into the atmosphere. The bridgemen don't care. They've got their thermals on and a packet of sandwiches and some Kendall Wing cake. They'll stop there as long as they want. They've probably got drones dropping packages off. They're drone mates. They might get shot. They don't care. The angels are with them. I've got a load of mates with drones dropping off sandwiches, some space food. They're powered by diesel. It's cheaper. It's less impact on the planet. Marcus? There only is Marcus. Good old Marcus. I love Marcus. And his bridge antics. Bridge engineer? He's going to have worked it out before he climbed up. It's true. I only picked out the facts that I needed. They're professional bridge people. They're bridge players, that's what. It's quite a complex game, apparently. Right, I'm going to have some coffee to celebrate. ESP with formaldehyde. There'll be no getting rid of me. I'm what? I'm pickling myself. There's a few on the floor. Leave it for the spiders. Grate it first and then chuck some down. Alright then. Spiders like damp, don't they? That's why they crawl onto you, to lick your salt. So if you put a bowl of water down, then they should stay there. The heating will bring them in as well. That's probably why they get in bed with me, because it's nice and warm. Put some old coffee grinds on the floor, they'll go for that, and then they get poisoned by the water. I don't know if they do that. They're rainforest. They like coffee beans. That's probably why they're here. Let's try it. They'll go for the coffee, for the moisture, and then just die. I don't know if that's true. Let's try it. I'm throwing coffee all over the place. I don't want them to die. I'm just trying to encourage them not to come on me, to be honest. Some of the cupboards. Have some coffee beans, you crazy old creatures. They want their bananas back. No, it's true. I don't know where black widows come from. I probably should look later on. I'm going to have to go because I'm desperate for the toilet. See you later. Bye.